Chapter 36, Achara Dharma. I'll just give a quick recap, the summary of what this chapter is all about. This chapter describes the plight of the Brahmin woman who went for parannabhojana. Guru Nath explains to the Brahmin woman and her husband some of the Vedic injunctions. Very good morning. Jai Shri Krishna Guru. Thank you for joining Shri Guru Charitra Satsang. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Shri Saraswataya Namaha, Om Shri Guru Dattatreya Namaha, Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha, Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha, Shri Guru Charitra Satsang. So we stopped halfway. What are we supposed to do? I'll continue from where we left. So morning ablutions. After dawn, one should attend to the calls of nature. At that time, he should keep silent. He should then clean his mouth and teeth. The twigs of trees, which are to be used for cleaning, the teeth are listed. After this, one should take his bath. It cleanses and refreshes the body and drives away laziness. It endows strength, longevity, intellectual brilliance, etc. It cleanses away the effect of bad dreams and also drives away poverty and all ill health. So it is extremely important to follow the morning ablutions and also the prescribed ways of how we have to live, waking up at a certain time, being extremely disciplined. An example here is keeping your mind silent. It's not the mouth that has to be silent, it's the mind that has to be silent. And when you wake up, you have to meditate at least on the God or chant his name. And if you have a guru, just meditate upon the lotus feet of your Gurudev. It is extremely important because that is the early hours where sattva is predominant. You can find all the sattvic gunas right at that time. You know, many years I remember when we wake up, at least I have had this bad experience too. We think about something before we sleep, and after you wake up, right, the moment you get up, that's the thought you wake up with. So that first thought is something which has left a bad taste in your mouth. So you should never wake up with such, ill feelings or something feeling very stressed, bad about something that's happened in your life. No, you should only wake up with the thought of your Divine Lord Almighty. You can at least keep a photo right in front of you. Even if you can't visualize him, you can keep a photo of his. You can see the God, whoever you love the most. You can see his photo the moment you wake up. It has been a practice. When I was a child, my grandfather and great grandparents, they'll always show us God's photo the moment we wake up. My granddad used to say, you know what, first don't wake up to anybody's, don't see anyone's face, except you have to see God's face. So that was the practice that was taught, but we didn't know why. We never asked him, why should we do that? Why should you see first God's face? I was never asked him, but it was blindly following. But today, here Guru Nath is very nicely explaining why it is important to wake up with the darshan of the Divine Lord Almighty or your Gurudev. In fact, actually it is mentioned in the earlier verse. Yeah, so here till sunrise and before he goes out, okay, here it is mentioned. Let me read this out to you. Early morning prayers. It says the Brahmin should rise in the early serene hours of the morning, which is called Brahma Muhurta, between 3:30 am to 5 am, during which time the sattva quality will be prevalent in the atmosphere. As soon as one rises from the bed, he should remember his guru first. See how beautiful it is. You have to remember your guru first and offer mentally his obeisance to him. He should then offer his obeisance to God and the deities, the Trimurtis, the sun god, the Navagrahas. He should then offer the obeisance to the sages, the Pitri Devtas, and to the parents. See, most important, forget about anybody. You just have to offer your obeisance to your Gurudev and to the God you worship the most, you love the most, your Ishta. That is what you have to do. And when you do that, your day will go good. It says your You're waking up with the thought of the divine Lord Almighty. You're not carrying forward the remnants of what happened the previous day. But let me tell you, the mind comes very strongly, and I have personally faced this. Before you overcome your mind is going to be extremely active. The moment you wake up, the last thought that you slept with, or something that has happened in before you went to your bed, that's the event your mind is going to catch hold of, and it is going to remind you, oh, this happened. So what happens? Either you're going to get angry, you're going to feel upset, you're going to feel sad, whatever that feelings might be. So what happens to your state of being, that you're already gone lost? Your mind has drawn you and made you dwell on things that is not going to give you the peace, the blissfulness, the oneness with the divine. It has already destroyed it. So it is extremely important that you wake up to the divine Lord Almighty. The thought, just remember him, offer obeisance unto his lotus feet, and then meditate if you can, or even like it's mentioned in the earlier verse where Narasimha Saraswati is saying, even if you have a mantra, just chant his name. If you don't have a guru mantra, doesn't matter, just take his name and sit in oneness with him. That is the most important thing to do. Then you will slowly evolve over, on the path of that spirituality. These are the sadhanas, these are the disciplines which is extremely important for one to follow. Forget about Brahmins, but as those who are very serious about evolving on the path of spirituality, this is a must to do. Then next, let us see what he's saying. Brahmacharis are to bathe in the mornings, and all householders both in the morning and in the afternoon, and the ascetics in the morning, in the afternoons, as well as in the evenings. That is all the 3 times during the day. Whatever water one would be using for bath, he should deem it as the waters of the holy Ganga, flowing down from the feet of Lord Hari. Oh my God, this is actually a very beautiful thing that he's saying here. Let us understand what is he teaching here. Whatever water one would be using for bath, he should deem it as the waters of the holy Ganges, flowing down from the feet of Lord Hari. What does it mean? See, when you believe and when you consider that water which you are having the bath with as the water of holy Ganges, believe me, you are going to be purified. Your sins are going to be absolved, and that water is only flowing from the Lord's lotus feet of Lord Sri Hari, Lord Sri Krishna. Isn't it so beautiful? He's redeeming you of all your karmas, physically, mentally, and spiritually too. It's a purification process. It's so profound. So if you can believe like that, if you can imagine it to be the water from the holy feet of Lord Sri Krishna, the Ganges, the Holy Mother herself, imagine how powerful that is going to be. You're redeeming all your karmas. That is what he's saying. How do you do? These are all in vidhis that needs to be followed for those who are very serious in evolving on the path of spirituality, and especially for the brahmacharis or the Brahmins, the knower of the Brahma. But today there are no Brahmins, but at least we can do certain things so that we can, it's a part of our sadhana. We become extremely disciplined, and it helps us to overcome our inertia, lethargy, tamasic guna, tamasic nature, all that it will help us overcome. And which would end up both physical as well as mental and spiritual purity. What is it doing? And which would end up, that's exactly what I was telling, that it will end up both physical as well as mental and spiritual purity. So purity is extremely important, and this is one of the ways of getting that purification. When water is not available or when one is sick, one should recite the Apohista mantra and do marjana 3 times. This is called mantra snana. Okay. Doing Vishnu Nama Sankirtan is called manasika snana. Taking darshan of Guru or sprinkling the water after washing the feet of the parents is called tirtha sthana. It's very profound. You know what is mentioned here? So if you are sick, and in other ways you are not able to have bath, there is another alternate method. And what is that method? He's saying you have to, when water is not available or when one is sick, one should recite the Apohista mantra and do marjana 3 times. This is called mantra snana. Mantra snana means using the mantra you are having your bath. Doing Vishnu Nama Sankirtan is called manasika snana. Manas, you're bathing, you're purifying your manas. That is a manasika snana. Snana means to have bath. So that is another way where you're purifying your, not just the physical body, the inner being, which is the most important thing to purify, because your mind is contaminated. It's carrying the muck from so many previous births of yours. So the purification is extremely important of your body, mind, and your innermost being. We can't say it's purification of the soul. The soul is not contaminated. It's only, they say, the Atma becomes one with the body. So what happens? It believes I am this body. But when you purify, when you understand the spiritual truth, then you'll realize I am not this body. I am that Paramatma. That is the truth you will realize, but for which the purification process is extremely important. So, taking darshan of the Guru or sprinkling, taking just his darshan in the morning. It is so important to take the Guru's darshan. Remember him, meditate upon him, chant his name. That is what is most important. Taking the darshan of the Guru or sprinkling the water after washing the feet of parents is also called Tirthasthana. See, when you wash the holy feet of your Lord, the Guru, or Lord Shri Krishna himself, the feet of the Divine Lord Almighty. So today, if you can't meet him, please, wash the holy feet of your Guru and use that water to sprinkle, and also take it as a tirtha. When you take that tirtha means we just sip a few drops of that water. What does it do? It removes all your tendencies. It removes all your desires, and it purifies you within. Then you will evolve on the path of sattva. You will get that sattva quality. What is the sattvic quality? The quality of goodness, the quality of love, forgiveness, compassionate, benevolence. All that quality will evolve, and you will become a desireless being. When you're in the company of the Divine Lord Almighty, the Guru Dev himself, what does he do? That's why, he removes your tendency slowly. He's cleaning you. Like my Krishna Ma will always tell, he'll say, I am that, cleaner. Now, he says, I'll keep cleaning you people. What does he do? It's like an acid wash. You put that acid and you're cleaning it hard. You're removing all the remnants which is there from many births of yours. He's purifying you. Constantly, he's purifying this body. So purification of body, your mind and your heart has to be complete. Only then can God realization happen. Otherwise, you cannot realize God within you. So it is an extremely important part of purification. On the days of vratas, shraddhas, or after the birth ceremonies or death ceremonies in the family, on the 10th day of the pollution period, hot water bath is prohibited. On auspicious occasions like marriage or other functions, cold water bath is prohibited. In flowing water of a river, one should face opposite the current, and in tanks, etc., one should face towards east and then take the bath. If one takes oil bath on Sundays, it could lead to disease. On Mondays, it could lead to draining away of energy. On Tuesdays, it could lead to death. On Wednesdays, it endows wealth, Lakshmi Prapti. On Thursdays and Fridays, it could cause the impairment and danger to the health of the children, Snana Nashtam. And on Saturdays, it brings in all auspiciousness, health and wealth. Housewives are not to take hair bath daily. See, there are the reasons why they have mentioned. Why should you take an oil bath on a particular day? What are the reasons for it? There are specific reasons, and that is very important to follow. So the oil bath has to be taken only on a Wednesday and Saturday, not other days. And if you take, so what happens? Again, this you can go read yourself, but I'm just going to reread once again so that you understand. If one takes oil bath on Sundays, it could lead to disease. On Mondays, it could lead to draining away of energy. On Tuesdays, it could lead to death. On Wednesdays, it could endow, so Wednesday is the auspicious day. On Wednesdays, it endows wealth, Lakshmi Prapti. On Thursdays and Fridays, it could cause the impairment and danger to the health of the children. That is Snana Nashtam. And on Saturdays, it brings in all auspiciousness, health and wealth. Housewives are not to take hair bath daily. On the days when one has taken oil bath, he is not to apply bhasma. On all other days and at all other times, he should necessarily apply bhasma on his forehead. Gopi Chandan is to be applied by those devoted to Lord Sri Hari. It is called Urdhava Pundra, that is vertical markings. It's the vertical marking, that is a mark of the Divine Lord Almighty. If you have seen or closely observed my Krishna Guruji, this Gopi Chandan mark is there. It's a mark of who he is. He has not applied any Gopi Chandan, never has he ever applied. But if you look at that mark is vibrant, it's quite visible. Next time when he's giving satsang, just observe him. On his forehead, literally you will find a white mark like that. It's a line. And that's a vertical marking. That is the mark of Lord Sri Krishna. They say it's a nam. It's also in the Tamil word they say namam. Namam means that marking. Nam also means it's a name. So it represents who he is. Like we discussed already, Shivji goes by the horizontal marking, Lord Sri Krishna goes by vertical marking. And it is equally meritorious like Bhasma Dharana, which is to be applied in horizontal Tipundra. Exactly what we discussed. Whoever applies both Bhasma and Gopi Chandan, he is equally dear to both Lord Hari and Hara. Hara means Shivji, Hari means Lord Sri Krishna or Vishnu. You cannot say Hara and say Vishnu. It's not, please remember, just that one letter can make a huge difference. Hara represents Shiva, Lord Shiva, and Hari represents Lord Sri Krishna. Sandhya Vandana. Sandhya Vandana, which is done in the very early morning hours before the stars disappear in the sky, is most ideal. Uttama. The Sandhya Vandana done before sunrise, even though the stars have set, is of intermediate merit. Madhyama. The merit is just intermediate. The Sandhya done after the sunrise is of the lowest merit, that is Adhama. The evening Sandhya done before the sunset before the sun has set is most meritorious. The stars have disappeared, the stars have appeared is of intermediate merit, that is Madhyama. The Sandhya done after the stars have appeared is of the lowest merit, that is Adhama. This is morning and evening. Sandhya Vandan, what is a specific time when it is really meritorious, that highly meritorious, then it is medium meritorious, and then there is no merit at all. That is what is being explained here. Then the Sandhya done after the stars have appeared is of the lowest merit, Adhama. The afternoon Sandhya also has to be done at the right time. So the time is extremely important, which is something we don't pay attention to because we are lacking discipline in our life. So timing is extremely particular. Why are they mentioning that Sandhya Vandan has to be done at a specific timing? Because only at that time there is highest merit, because that falls in that auspicious moment where the sattvic principle or the sattvic elements is high. That is when you can draw on that good vibes, good qualities of that sattva. You can achieve it for yourself. That is why they say you have to pray at a particular timing. You have to wake up at a certain time. So discipline is extremely important, and time, please remember, it is the essence of Lord Sri Krishna himself. So keeping to the timing is extremely important. And if you don't do it in the time, then what happens? You're not going to get that merit of what you're doing. So it becomes waste. Yeah, you're doing it, but it has no merit that you're going to earn from that. Argya. There is much significance behind the Argya. Argya Pradhan, right. There are said to be 33 crore demons, that is evil forces called Mandehas, who try to block the way of sun. The Argya Pradhan done together with the chant of Gayatri mantra drives away, destroys the demons and helps to clear the way for the sun. The sin caused by the destruction of the demons is absolved by the chant of the Asavadityo Brahma mantra while doing the pradikshana. Pradikshana means the circumambulation. So, you can stand and you have to go from right towards left, and that's like circumambulation, that is pradikshana, and you have to chant this particular mantra. See, some of these things doesn't even apply in today's day and age. All we need to have is devotion to the Lord Shri Krishna and to your Gurudev. That's a two important thing, and just to recite his mantras constantly at all times. Those who have received the Guru mantra, keep reciting it 24/7. That is all you need to do, and do all your karmas in a disciplined manner. Do your sadhana, listen to satsangs, contemplate, do whatever duties that it's prescribed to you. That is all you require. All these things applies to certain people, and here it is very clearly mentioned these are for Brahmins, the knowers of the Brahma, because they are the custodians of the spirituality, the spiritual Vedas. They are the custodians of the Vedas, the spiritual knowledge. Now for them they have to follow certain things which is prescribed, and from this if you can take out one or two things which you want to do and follow, that is good enough. Beyond that, you don't need anything. My Krishna Guruji explains so beautifully from Bhagavad Gita. He says, the Lord only wants just a leaf of tulsi, a water, a flower, whatever that you might offer to him with that love. Sinless heart, from sinless being. He personally comes and accepts it. That is all he says. So your bhakti is what he wants to see. The love, the pure love is what he cares about. Beyond that, nothing. He doesn't even bother all these things. But see, as a body, you have to go through that process. The practice, the spiritual discipline is important. That is why you are prescribed certain sadhana. Why? Because you have to train your mind, you have to control your mind so that you can attain God realization, and purification should happen because we are contaminated. The body is always contaminated because it's a body. So the purification is very important. So you have to go through this process. Beyond that, there is nothing. When you can just take the holy water, which is the teeth washed of your lotus feet of your Gurudev, and if you can sip few drops every single day, that itself is beautiful. That redeems you of all your sins. It absolves and it makes you desireless being from within, and you will evolve on the path of sattva. See, this is not overnight that you can achieve, because you are carrying the muck from so many past births of yours. So how can you, clear it all one time? My Krishna Guruji once said, oh, you're coming with millions of lifetimes of karma and all the sins, and you want me to just clear it off like that in one shot? Does it happen like that? He asked me. I said, yeah, I understand, but I still don't understand, or I can't see the sins that I have committed or not, right? I don't know my previous lives, but my Gurudev knows. So he's telling me this, don't expect magic to happen overnight. You have to go through the process. It can happen slowly, and you have to be an integral part of the purification process, where you have to help me too. It's not just me trying to do some magic and removing it, because you have to walk that path, which means you cannot incur further karmas. You cannot do certain things which I am telling you not to do. I forbid you from doing that. So you have to be extremely disciplined. So you are also going to help me to help you, purify yourself. That is most important. So if I am not a good tool in the hands of the Divine Lord Almighty, if I don't surrender and become the clay in His hands, how can He mold me? How can He purify me? Because then I'm going to go back to doing my ways, right? Then that doesn't work, because I'm using my mind. So where is that I'm giving a chance for the Divine to purify me? So this is what is extremely important. So you have to help yourself, and you have to help your Gurudev. That is why they say you have to become the clay in the hands of the Guru, so that he can mold you. You have to surrender. You have to completely surrender unto his lotus feet. Only then can he transform you, not otherwise. When he's saying don't do something, you have to refrain from doing. Otherwise, you know what happens? The karma is going to come there, and then you're going to go through the tough path. Yeah, he can take on the karma, but how much can he take on? He can't beyond a certain point. He can only absolve you of so much sins, but you're committed a whole load of karmas. There is too many indirect karmas that you're committing. So then don't blame the Gurudev. You don't know what is going to come about. But because he has taken charge of you, do you want to, give him all that pain? That is not right. So we have to help him to help us. We cannot just put all our karmas and sins for him to suffer. That is not correct. Why should he suffer for our karma? We have to help him by being our good self. How do you overcome the karma? The Guru teaches you how to not create any further karma. So he teaches you how to perform nishkama karma, which is selfless action, which doesn't accrue any sins for you or for anybody. The moment you are under the divine grace of the Guru, there's no karma accruing to you. But the problem is, if you use your mind, if the mind comes with its self-conceit and deceit and says, I will exactly do the way I want it to be done, then you're not listening to him. You know what can happen? Yeah, he's going to take on your karmas, but beyond the point what you're killing your Gurudev, his body can only handle so much. After that, he has to leave his body and go away. So what are you saying? Just for your petty idiosyncrasies, he has to suffer? For your petty nature? Just because he wants you not to do something and you go end up doing so that he can suffer? This is not a done thing. Please remember, when you go against the Divine Lord Almighty, when he's telling you, do this on the particular date, do it in this month, and if you do not follow his ordain, you are incurring karma because you have gone against him and his universe. Then the universe is going to do exactly what the universe has programmed to do. He's averting that karma. He's averting that calamities from befalling. And if you don't listen, if you don't stand up and fight your battle, then you're going to suffer. Please remember this. This goes for anybody. I am telling you, I have gone through this personally. I understand the repercussions of not listening to the Guru is very dangerous. Because we will let our destiny take over, and when the destiny takes over, you don't know what can happen to you. The Guru can only suffer so much. Please remember, he cannot completely redeem off the prarabdha karma. The prarabdha karma can only be cushioned. Beyond a certain point, you are going to suffer. And then don't hold your Guru and God responsible for you not listening to his words and not following his through whatever he has ordained you to do. I'm telling you, it's very easy. You know, it's very beautiful lesson my Guruji has given me as an experience. I'm giving you a gist of what I have learned over many years. When my Guruji says, don't go and do something, you know what happens? The human mind always wants to oppose, because the mind doesn't want to, lose its power, the throne, like Indra. Because when he listens to the divine, it believes that the divine has taken his kingdom. Some kind of an way of losing his power or throne, over you. So what does Indra, all these demons do? They come and put obstacles on your way so that you can oppose your Gurudev. This is how the mind works. Please remember. And then what happens is, you're not going to listen to your Guru thinking that he's going to do something bad to you. What is that one Mahabharata, the teaching that he has given from Bhagavad Gita? Where is the Mahabharata war? It is not happening in the Kurukshetra. There is no war outside. The war is within this body. You have to fight the demons inside of you. And in one of the satsang, my Guruji taught a very beautiful lesson. The demons come in form of humans. That could be anybody. That could be even your parents, your wife, your husband, your children, your in-laws, your relatives, you name it. They are all going to oppose you. No, this is how we will do. And my Krishna Guruji says one thing. If you listen to all of them, then I am not with you. Then you are going towards the Kauravas. You are making the Kauravas win. But if you stand alone and oppose and fight, then you're on Pandava's side. Then Lord Shri Krishna is with you. So nothing shall happen. The victory is yours. But do you have the guts to stand up and say, no, this is how it has to happen? No, we cannot, because we succumb to the situations, to the people, to the environment. We succumb. Why? Because we are all yellow chicken. I'm sorry to say this. We are such an yellow people. We don't want to face life. We don't want to fight. We want to just pander to people's ego. It is not about pandering to anybody's ego. It is about your test to see who do you stand with. And once again, I am telling, if anybody, doesn't listen to my Gurudev, this is for those who have your Guru. It's not just my Krishna Guruji. For anybody who's listening and who has a Guru, please remember this. If you don't listen to your Guru and you go against and do anything that is against him, my Guruji is never going to stop. Your Guruji will never stop you. He's only going to warn. And if you, instead of listening to him, still let that event happen, please remember, you're letting destiny take over. Then what is going to come about is not your Gurudev's problem, but unfortunately, just because you are his Guru, you are his disciple, he will have to take the sufferings on him. And anybody who makes this kind of things happen, and I'm going to be the biggest, you are going to make me your enemy. Simple as that. I will not approve of my Guruji or any Guru suffering for some misdemeanor or some idiots like you, unfortunately, because you are the disciples. And this is a standard thing across. You lead, whether it is Guru Charitra, or you listen to or read any of the Buddhist scriptures as well. The same story is being narrated over there as well. Why are these stories being taught to us? So that we understand the truth and not fall prey to these, evil propensities in this world. The people who have demonic dispositions, they're always there to destroy your life. Why don't you understand? The Kurukshetra is not outside. The Kurukshetra is within this body itself. That is what the knowledge is given, so you know how to fight a righteous battle. When the Lord is with you, the victory is always yours. Please remember. But do you have the courage to go and fight? That is what you have to show. Stand up and fight. Why are you becoming an yellow chicken? Why should you chicken out of anything? You don't have to. When the God is there, what is there to fear? Baba says very beautifully, why fear when I am here? And then people will try to come up with, some kind of versions. Oh, Guruji, isn't that this version is different what you are following? Please remember, when the Guru says, this day is auspicious, the entire universe can say that is wrong. But the word from the Guru's mouth makes that day auspicious. This is the Param Satya which people don't understand. And they'll try to make a loopholes. Oh, South India has a different Panchangam. North India has a different Panchangam. I mean, this whatever natal charts and all this calendar, all whatever that is, nonsensical stuff which exists. And people believe into all that rubbish. And they think, oh, the Panditji, what they are saying is correct. But your master, the God is saying, this day, this month, this is the time you have to get married, or this is the time this has to happen. But you go and completely cut that out, and then you go believe to some idiot and morons in your life. That is exactly what you do. And the God is saying that day, his words are Sat Vachan. His words make that day auspicious. What is it mentioned here? The Ganga rests at the feet of Lord Sri Hari. You think when his feet touches that place, doesn't it become holy? Wherever he walks, wherever he resides, that place is holy. That is why they say you don't have to go to any pilgrimages in this world. Just the holy feet of your Gurudev. All the pilgrimage exists at his feet, rests at his feet only. That much of power he holds. And what are we doing? We are going and believing to some idiots in this world. And going by all this, some stupid fellow sitting in some temple, Panditji, who doesn't even know ABC of what spirituality is all about. He's going to see some chart and give you some auspicious days. And people believe in that. I don't know where we are in our world. Despite having the knowledge, people destroy their own life. They cut their own legs with their hand. What is the use of having a guru then? And then what? You will expect the guru to come and suffer for you? Please get out. Don't even have a guru in your life when you can't even listen and stand up and fight for yourself. Why are you then studying the spirituality? Spirituality is not about somebody else. It is about you changing yourself. To each his own. God is to each his own. The knowledge is given so that you apply in your life and evolve. Spirituality is not for everybody. Like Lord Shri Krishna says, the spirituality is not to be taught to those who have doubt in me, those who do not believe in me. It is only to those devotees and disciples of the Lord Shri Krishna himself. It's only for select few. And even after getting that knowledge, you still want to fall prey into the material world, then please get out. Nobody is asking you to stay here. Don't be with your Guruji. Don't make him suffer because of your idiosyncrasies and your stupidity. Don't make that great master go through pain. Why should he suffer? Tell me. Because of our stupidity that we can't do some things in the world. What is the God asking you? To stand up, to become brave and follow the path of Dharma and be truthful? Is that too much to ask? Of course not. Of course not. And why can't we follow this? These are all the basic things. This is what spirituality is all about. The demon is not outside. The demon is within us. The Kurukshetra is this body where you have to fight. And what is the Kurukshetra? This world, this material world is a Kurukshetra. Where all the demons who's calling you, enticing you and telling you, come look at me, come fall prey to me. And you want to go into that gutters. Just because of some attachments of yours, mother, father, brother, sister, all that. And destroy your life and everybody else's life along with that. And incur more karma. Get into more attachments. Then what? Now marriage, then family, children, job, everything will come. Job is another biggest burden. Forget about that. Building a house, that's another big karma. Oh my God. It's building a house is again a big attachment and bondage. My Guruji is so great. He's free. He's an avaduta. Today he just can vanish like that. He doesn't even have to wait for anybody. There's nothing under his name. I love to be that. I want that life. It's disgusted with this material world. Trying to pander to people's ego, trying to please them. Everybody's ego comes in. Nobody wants to listen. What kind of a life are we living? There is no harmony. There is no goodness. There is no love. This is the world we have entered. This is Kali Yuga. We are all hurtling fast towards destruction. And the God comes and gives his grace. And we think he's our biggest enemy. So sad. It's very sad to see how this world is evolving. And when you have the great master with you, we don't appreciate him. We treat him like some ordinary human being. This is what happens to us. So get out of that. Follow these discipline, this basic sadhanas, and redeem yourself and give him that love so that he can have longevity of life. Let our Guru be for some more years in this world. Let us not put more karma onto his feet and make him suffer. That is not acceptable. So all the 3 times of the day, mornings, afternoons and evenings, the Gayatri mantra has to be chanted 108 times at least each time. Chanting it 1,000 times absolves from many of the ordinary sins. Chanting it 10 million times annihilates all the sins. Gayatri mantra is the very essence of all the Vedic hymns. It is the most potent and protecting mantra. If any interruptions comes for whatever reason, when doing the chanting, the right ear has to be touched. In case one is obliged to talk with anybody while doing the japa, he will have to recite the Tadvishotta mantra. The chanting has to be done silently and mentally. Aupasan and the Pancha Yajnas. After performing the Sandhya Vandana, Auposan has to be necessarily done. Brahma Yajna, Vaishvadeva, etc. will also have to be done by the Brahmin. Tarpan. To appease and please the Vasus, Rudras, Adityas, Devarishis and Pitrus, Tarpan has to be offered. On Deepavali, 3 palmfuls of water, oblations, have to be offered to Lord Yama, Chitragupta, etc. to get rid of the troubles caused by disease, sins, shani, etc. It will avoid premature death and end of longevity. On the Krishnashtami day, in the month of Magh, Tarpan has to be offered to Bhishma. Thereby all the sins committed during the entire year will get absolved. See here, this is such a profound one. I'm going to reread this again. On the Krishnashtami day, in the month of Magh, Tarpan has to be offered to Bhishma. Thereby, all the sins committed during the entire year will get absolved. Wearing of the sacred thread is obligatory for a Brahmin. One who discards or does not wear the sacred thread loses his Brahmin rights. The thread is the sacred bond linking man to God. It is symbolic of Gayatri, the eternal protector. These disciplines are inviolable for a Brahmin. What does it mean? He has to follow. And you can't say, I'm not going to do it. You cannot have a rule that is very convenient to you. But in the Kali Yuga, this is where we are. There are no Brahmins in this world, let me tell you. Brahmins are the knowers of the Brahman. That is Brahma. And then what happens? He has to follow all of this. But where is the Brahmin today? Not the Panditjis and priests who are a Brahmin. They are just learned scholars. It doesn't mean anything. They don't understand spirituality, or they are not the wise beings. They don't understand Brahma at all. So whoever follows these injunctions and observes the disciplines will never suffer misery. He will enjoy all joys and happiness. Unfortunately, in this Kali Yuga, as Brahmins have digressed away and have given up these disciplines, they are suffering all sorts of troubles and untold miseries. I don't even have to say, it's already mentioned here. What is mentioned here? Unfortunately, in this Kali Yuga, as Brahmins have digressed away and have given up these disciplines, they are all suffering sorts of troubles and untold misery. Brahmins must keep up their spiritual heritage. They must keep up their dignity by the purity of their conduct. Then alone they are worthy to be called Brahmins and can help the Brahminic culture to survive and Dharma to be sustained in the world. Oh my God. I will reread this again. But do you think this is anyway going to impact anybody? Of course not. Because everybody is living their own life. Sometimes I wonder, why am I here? What is the purpose? Yeah, I know there is a purpose of the Divine Lord Almighty. But is it even worth staying here? But the only thing what I love about this human birth is I can experience my Lord. Only through body can you love the Divine Master, the Divine Lord Almighty, Lord Shri Krishna and your Gurudev. Because the body has to, only through body can you attain God realization. You can experience bhakti. You can experience that love for the divine, beyond which this body has no use. What is the use? I'm just like disgusted with everything around that I see. People are getting into nonsensical stuff, attachments, politics, bondage, money, running after lust, greed. There is nothing in that. At the end of the day, you'll realize how futile this material worldly existence is. There is only one refuge. That is the refuge of the lotus feet of your Gurudev. Hold on to his feet. That is all you need to have. Everything else has no value at all. You can have $1 million, $1 billion. It's not going to give you that bliss. The state of blissfulness is never going to come with how much of a money you might have. What use is it? If you see this world, go out and see. Everybody's living a miserable life. They're all lost in their own, I don't know, the misery, health issues. Oh my God, there's so much sickness in this world. No matter how much money you can have, but you can't still buy health. You can't. So what use is it? Even then, even despite all that, a man is still a greedy being. What can you do? So what is that you have to do? Those who are on the path of spirituality, you just have to surrender yourself, become absolutely attached with only one being, and that is your Gurudev and your God Almighty. Just hold on to his lotus feet. Nothing else is worth it. It is so waste. It is futile. But what is the most beautiful thing? Every morning, if you can shed 2 drops of tears for your Gurudev, that is the highest thing that you have ever achieved. Nothing else matters. Can anybody shed 2 drops of tears for the Lord in love of him? No. Everybody comes with a begging bowl. I want this, I want this. You know, in one of the satsangs, my Krishna Guruji has given a very beautiful explanation. In that he says, my devotee doesn't even have to ask. I know what is needed for them and I will take care of it. I will ensure that they will get all that thing. And despite, you know what, there is still a begging bowl. People will say, Guruji, I want to do this. Can you give me this? Still people will ask. I am not saying I have not asked. It was a point in time when I had initially come to my Guruji. And one day my Guruji said, tell me what is your desires? What is that you want? We were in Calcutta. I still remember this was the most funny incident that happened. I was just like 1 month old with my Guruji. I didn't know what a guru meant at that time. When he asked me these questions, I rattled off half an hour, all my desires. Endlessly I rattled off. And that was really a shocker. And my Guruji said, can you stop? You have too many desires. So I didn't understand even what the desire meant. I want this, I want that, I want so much money, I want to become some richest person, I want to become a CEO, CIO, whatever nonsensical stuff I had literally rattled off. But in all this, I didn't ask God. I didn't know. I thought, or my belief system, because that is what I've seen. My parents, my grandparents, everybody around me. Going to temple means you have to do something so that your life can be better. God is there to grant you things. This was my understanding. But that day, my Guruji said, what is this? Your desires are endless. It's like a bottomless pit. Your bucket list is not, there is a never ending. And even then I didn't understand. But much later, as I evolved, before I got initiated, my Guruji tested me. He wanted to see whether I'm giving him a list or I'm giving him what is it I'm choosing. It was exactly like when Lord Shri Krishna, asked Arjuna and Duryodhana, what do you want? Like Duryodhana took Lord Shri Krishna's army. Arjuna said, I want you. So my Guruji also gave me this option. Give me a list. What is that you want? Write down everything to me. And what is that you want? Give me the list. And he didn't initiate me until then. He was he tested me. I didn't understand. And that day I was sitting in office one of the evenings. And I was going through this. I don't know what to do. My Guruji said, give me whatever you want. Write down everything. I have granted people. I will grant you also, he said. And at that moment, I was reading, about Sudama's story. When he goes to Lord Shri Krishna and his wife says, go and ask your friend who is God himself. He will help, redeem our poverty. But that time Sudama goes there and his wife, gives him, they had nothing to offer. Just a, fistful of beaten rice. It's called poha in Hindi. Beaten. And I think in Tamil they say, in Kannada they say avalaki. In Tamil they say aval. Okay, I'm giving different versions. So that poha, the beaten rice is what he had taken. But he didn't. He was very feeling small to give his friend, who is God himself. How can he offer him that? But you know what Lord Shri Krishna said? He is all knowing. He said, I think you brought something for me. And he said, give me what your wife has given, give it to me. And he just eats from that. And Sudama hesitantly gives Lord Shri Krishna that poha, the beaten rice. And from that, Lord Shri Krishna takes and eats a handful of, his mouth is filled with it. One handful he eats. And then he's trying to eat the next one. Rukmini stops him, saying, don't eat more. Then I will have to go sit in Sudama's house. But just when the Lord ate that one mouthful of beaten rice, he got, Sudama got all the riches, wealth, everything he got. What does it mean? The Divine Lord Almighty knows you will get what you have to get at the right timing. The most important thing is God's appointed timing. And I was reading this lesson, I was reading this story. I had taken a break. I was in office, I was working. At the time I was reading this particular story. And then I said, why should then I ask my Gurudev anything? I don't need to ask him. I am not going to give him any list. I don't want. Whatever he has to, let him give me. I am not interested in asking. And then I called my Guruji, right at that moment. I told him, I am not going to give you any list. I don't want anything from you. I want you. These were my words. And yeah, I fought with him also. See, the mind comes. When the mind comes, you tend to believe, oh, God is giving everybody else. God is not giving me. That also happens. I am not telling that that doesn't happen at all. It happens. But what is most important? The most important thing is to understand that He knows what is right for you. He knows when to give you what. It is not when you want it. It is only when the God it is only when the God wants to give you. Wants to also is the wrong word. At the God's appointed timing. There is always a perfect timing. There is a reason for that. And when that comes at that time, then you will be ready to live that life or accept that responsibility. And even know how to manage that wealth, money, whatever that you need to have. But you need to get there. So everybody, it is different ways, And then I have also fought with my Guruji. You give others, you don't give me. This is a very common thing. But that is what we should not fall for. Isn't He Lord Almighty? Doesn't He know? Is He selfish like you and me? No. He's divine Lord Almighty. He takes care of everybody. And I was listening to one of my Guruji's satsang this morning. And in that he's saying, even if you're the vilest of the person who has done so many sins, but when you have the single pointed devotion to Lord Shri Krishna, He even pardons you and redeems you. He doesn't even hold anything against you. You might be the worst creature on earth. Yet Lord Shri Krishna's mercy is such that is who Lord Shri Krishna is. So why are we feeling inadequate? Why are we doubting our master? And this happens, but this is a part of spirituality. This is a process. I have journeyed this, and that is why I am telling you not to do this. Don't worry. His hand of benediction is on your head. Everything will work out in a magical manner. It will all happen in a very beautiful way. Why are you even still doubting? And then going and asking the same thing. And in that satsang, my Guruji was saying, yeah, people will come to me and again they want a confirmation, an affirmation, or proof, or whatever that they want. They will ask 100 times the same thing. Guruji, I want to do this. I want to go abroad. I want a job. I want money. I want marriage. Endlessly, the same thing will be asked after every now and then. Doesn't He know? Doesn't He run your life? Then why are we asking it? Because we are doubt. Our mind creates that doubt. It is not about anything else. So what is to be controlled is your mind. And how do you control? When you surrender 100% with the faith that my master, anything that he says is the truth alone. Like my Krishna Guruji will say, if I say that is Purva Disha, that is Purva Disha. And this truth is very difficult to understand. It takes eons, lifetimes to know this truth about a guru. This is one of his natures. It is not the word comes to existence. The word, the mouth, when the word comes from the guru's mouth, that object comes and exists. The day becomes auspicious. Everything works magic. But you need to stand with him because the world is going to be against you. Can you do that? That is what spirituality is all about. That is what Mahabharata, that is what Bhagavad Gita is all about. The highest of the scriptures, the sovereign truth. Lord Shri Krishna himself says, you must go listen to my Krishna Guruji's satsang if you really want to evolve on the path of spiritual. There is no truth to this material worldly existence. There is nothing in this world. It is futile. But we are here for two important purposes. The first purpose is for God realization. The human birth is to attain God realization. And second most important purpose is to serve the purpose of the divine Lord Almighty. That is all why we have manifested in this body. Beyond that, we have nothing to do. And you have to get disgusted with the material world. And in last few days, when I've been watching and observing what's happening in the world, I am completely disgusted. I don't understand the meaning of life. What is life all about? Why are people so greedy? Why are people, against each other? We went somewhere, there was an exhibition. It is very funny that we were talking to one lady who was sitting there. She was literally barking like a dog. What is the need to talk like that? Can you not talk like a human being? Can you not be nice, gentle? Today we have lost that tolerance. This is what my Krishna Guruji says. Don't get angry, become calm, become compassionate. And you know what he taught in one of his satsang in Uddhav Gita last week? He said in that, it's very sad. The hell and heaven is not somewhere to attain. The hell and heaven is right now. We are living it. Some people live in the misery of their mind, and that is hell. And some, dwell on the lotus feet of the Lord Almighty. That is heaven. So where is the hell and the heaven? There is no another life. You're already living that in the hell and the heaven. And what is the grace? So that you can come towards the heaven, to understanding there is a God. But that grace is not there because you want to use your ego and not take that grace. Even when the grace comes with you, you're not ready to accept because of your ego. So who is at fault? You or the God? God to come and gives his hand to everybody, but it is for you to walk. And sometimes the grace of the God is not there because you have your so much of karma for which you might not get that grace. That is also possible. So don't fall prey to that. I see few people living in their mind talking to themselves, and they feel that the whole world is against them. It's like a persecution complex. I see that with many people that has happened. And what happens? And if you're born through such parents, you'll also get that quality. So stay away from them. You don't need to acquire that. That is why my Krishna Guruji says, and it is taught, when you are initiated by the Guru, you become the Guru Putra and Guru Putri. And what is the qualities you have to adapt is the quality of your Guru. You have to emulate him. He is your role model. That is why he's the highest of the examples. Can anyone match him? Nobody can match him. Today, my Gurus has set a standard. Living his standards is, wow. I mean, you'd have achieved the ultimate, because he can wake up at 2 a.m. He's awake almost. I don't know when he sleeps. He reads voraciously for 8 hours, even though he doesn't have to read. He's the knowledge almighty. He's the knowledge himself. He's the knowledge incarnate. What else do you need? And yet he does all of this for whom? He doesn't have to achieve anything. He doesn't even care about anything in this world. Yet he performs everything so that he can set an example for us to follow him. The world has to follow. And if we don't discipline us, there is nothing anybody can do about it. Spirituality is not about preaching. I have to also walk the path. I have my own challenges, because spirituality is not one-time journey. It is a lifetimes of journey. It's an Athanga Sagar, limitless ocean. So as much as deeper you want to go, as deep you can, and you can keep going deeper and deeper, deeper. The choice is yours. How deep you want to attain, go ahead. And what is the highest you want to attain. So you have to journey that path. So everybody is going through their own challenge. Everybody is going to go through their own tests as well. And you have to stand that test. If you don't, then what is the use of you being in spirituality? That is the question you have to ask yourself. Don't get succumbed to the material world. Don't fall prey to the material world. Demons are going to come around you in the form of your relatives, in the form of everybody who are going to stop you from your spiritual progress. Are you going to succumb to them? Then what happens to all the teachings of the lessons which your Gurudev has imparted to you? That is what you have to stand. And one most important lesson which my Krishna Guruji had imparted to me long ago, you can give me the extension of life, which means when we are in harmony and when we only show love to him, then he can extend his life. Otherwise, if we make him suffer through our bitterness, venom, hatred, everything, his life is going to be, minus, not extended. He's going to leave the body very fast and go, because his body cannot handle. Why? Because whatever we do wrong, and that is going to be suffered by him. So we cannot do anything wrong. We cannot speak bad or ill against anybody. Just last week, satsang, my Krishna Guruji said a very profound thing. In that he said, today, there is nobody spiritual. You know why? Because nobody is of sattva, nobody is in sattva guna today. We are all against each other. There is no goodness. We hate each other. We cannot see eye to eye with people. And everybody is mean. They bark like a dog. Why do we need to do that? Can we not be nice to everybody? Can we not live in harmony? Why are we so greedy? What is lust all about? Trying to get married and going in for some pleasure, and that's all it's about. Why are you getting married? Ask this question for yourself. What is there in marriage? It is very clearly mentioned. It is a bondage. Then why do you need to get into? But everybody wants to get into. They are going and falling in that ditch, knowing fully well that is not going to lead them anywhere. This is the truth. Job, attachment to job. Job is also equivalent to a marriage. What is there in that job? You want some security, you want money. That is why you are working, right? What is the use? And you are never going to be happy with the job, because it's like one job. So like my Krishna Guruji will say, 3 months is the honeymoon period. Then go find another job, because you're never going to be happy over there. Then you will say, oh, my boss is not good, my colleagues are not good. That is all. It continues. So when is it that you're going to say enough is enough? Anything in the material world is a misery alone. Nothing is permanent in the material world. The one thing which is permanent is Lord alone. So seek Him, find Him, go with Him. That is what will give you redemption. Not just for you, your entire 7 generations upward and 7 generations downwards. That will redeem you. You're not going to suffer in this world. Attain that one truth. And then what? When you are on the path of divinity, there is no sickness, nothing. You're following a disciplined life. Why are you following a disciplined life? So that you can be hale and hearty. Only through a healthy body can you also do a lot of work. We have to serve. Ashram means come and put effort. Wherever it is. It is not just in Krishna ashram alone. Wherever you are, there you have to put shram. You have to put your effort. You are serving your master. Doesn't mean that you have to only come to an ashram and put effort. The reason why we say you have to come to ashram and put effort is because under the guru, everybody wants to, be disciplined. And sometimes, even when the guru is there, we take it relaxed. We don't want to be disciplined. We give in to our mind. Imagine, my Krishna Guruji will say, if you can't become disciplined when I am there, what happens when I am not there? This is the truth. Can you be disciplined? So that is what we have to practice. So our spirituality is all about doing sadhana, practicing, perfecting you to become the divine being, the best tool in the hands of the divine Lord Almighty, so you can use this body to serve His purpose. That is the ultimate truth. There is nothing beyond that. So don't waste your life. When you have the privilege of being with the Guru, when you have a Guru who has initiated you, use that opportunity to evolve on the path of spirituality and attain the highest will for yourself and people associated with you. That is the only purpose for why you have taken this human birth. There is no other purpose. I think we are reading the same thing over and over and over again. All these disciplines are only to perfect ourselves. We are not here to change the world. We are here to change ourselves. I have to change myself, like my Krishna Guruji teaches. Why are you pointing out somebody else's mistake? You are also done the same thing. That's what I am telling you. I am not saying I am perfect. On the contrary, I have gone through those, lessons. I am only sharing my experience so that you don't make the same mistake. You understand the truth, because it is not easy to know the master. You can never understand the ways of the divine Guru, because he is Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. He is the God Himself. His ways are beyond any human mind's ken and understanding. Don't ever use your mind to understand the Guru. You are never going to. I am talking about the real master, the Parabrahma. I am not talking about any fake gurus in this world. They are useless, who only want to run some conglomerates and have Vesh Bhushan and millions of followers. The real master will have only a handful of them. He is only here that he wants that one who will obey to him to the T and do everything and do exactly what he ordains to do. To finding such a disciple is very difficult in today's day and age. This is exactly what my Krishna Guruji says. So become that disciple. Aspire to be that highest of the devotee and disciple to your Gurudev and to your Lord Almighty. That is all spirituality is all about. So Brahmins must keep up their spiritual heritage. They must keep up their dignity by the purity of their conduct. Then alone, they are worthy to be called Brahmins and can help the Brahminic culture to survive and Dharma to be sustained in the world. It's not even existing now. Very unfortunate. It is very well mentioned. Why are the Brahmins taught all of this? Why it is important to do? And today, because the Brahmins have digressed away and have given up these disciplines, they are also suffering all sorts of troubles and untold miseries. When you go against the Guru and the God, please remember, nobody is spared by Maya. You are going to suffer. So don't go against your Gurudev. When he's saying don't do something, don't go against him. The Guru will always say, oh, I will accept to everything. You know, my Krishna Guruji is a very unique way to talk. When you go out, ask him first, he will give you a date. And then when we come and ask for concessions, exception we'll ask. Oh no, my mother didn't listen, my father didn't listen, they're asking another date, they're asking another date, they're asking this. No, your Gurudev's instruction is very clear. Go this day to the hospital means you have to go. And if you fail to do so, please remember here, they're all suffering all sorts of troubles and untold misery. This is what is going to happen. Then don't expect your Gurudev to suffer for that karma. I will not like it. This is what happens. We are indisciplined people. We need to change. And why should the Guru suffer? It is not for him to suffer our follies. So let us suffer. No, why can't you take the suffers? Take the suffering of all your people, who have to put you in the gutter. Why don't you suffer for that? Why should the Guru suffer? Ask this question and then do an action. Before you commit any action, please ask this question. Will you suffer for somebody else's karma? Then your Guru also shouldn't suffer for your stupidity. Please remember, and let us not make our Gurus suffer. Let us be very good on the path of, let us be the highest of the disciple and devotees and be very good on the path of our spiritual journey. With that, thus ends this 36th chapter of Shree Guru Charitra, describing the Achara Dharma for the Brahmins. Glory to the All-Merciful, the Omnipresent and the Ever-Responsive Guru Nath. I hope you understood today's lesson. It is very, very important. And go listen to my Krishna Guruji's Uddhav Gita Satsang, which he did yesterday. And in that he has described how people are, what kind of qualities we need to have. It is extremely important. And, focus on evolving in that path. It will do a lot good to you. Thank you for joining Shree Guru Charitra Satsang. Wishing you all a very happy Monday. Om Shri Mahaganapate Namaha. Om Shri Gurudev Datta. Om Shri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Digambara Digambara Shripad Vallabha Digambara. Om Shri Krishna Guru Nathanataya Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Devi Durgaya Namaha. Om Shri Krishna Arpanam Namastu. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum.